Welcome, deep divers, to another journey into knowledge. Today, we're really diving deep into the world of writing, specifically how to become a more fulfilled and empowered writer.
That sounds fantastic. What's our guide today?
We're using a phenomenal resource from RWG Publishing. It's called The Writer's Workshop, Tools and Tips for Aspiring Authors by Bill Vincent.
Ah, Bill Vincent. Good choice.
Yeah, and our mission here, for you listening, is to pull out the most important, really actionable insights from this guide. We're aiming to give you a path to becoming, well, a better, more confident, and truly fulfilled author.
And what's great about Vincent's approach right from the start is how refreshing it is. He frames writing as a craft you can actually learn. It's not some, mystical gift only a few people have.
Exactly, not just for the gifted few.
Right. He presents it as this journey of discovery. You're finding stories, yes, but also finding yourself. It can be about healing, grieving, accepting things, even strengthening yourself. The whole book really tries to create this positive space for that kind of growth.
Right. That's such a great way to start, isn't it? It makes writing feel accessible, maybe.
Yeah.
Like something anyone can try.
Yeah.
Is that learnable craft idea the biggest hurdle you see for new writers? That mindset shift?
Oh, absolutely. So many people get stuck thinking, oh, I don't have it, or whatever it is, that innate talent thing.
Right.
But Vincent shows, look, like playing an instrument or painting, writing gets better the more you actually do it. The workshop specifically helps you build, strong characters, rich settings, understand short story structure, the nuts and bolts. The goal, he says, is to stretch the parameters of your writing into realms you never thought possible and help you fulfill your own promise as a writer. It really is about building skills step by step.
And I like that it doesn't ignore the tough parts.
Yeah.
Vincent acknowledges those false starts, the characters feeling thin, the dialogue just falling flat,
Yeah.
and things we all face.
Yeah, he positions writing as this complex challenge, but one with huge rewards, both personally and creatively.
Okay.
It's beautifully put as a tool for discovery, both self and world. Think about that. You're not just making up a story, you're exploring your own thoughts, your feelings, and the world out there. He calls it a way of healing, grieving, accepting, admitting, strengthening, and embracing. It taps into why a lot of us write in the first place, doesn't it? It's deeper than just plot.
That's really profound. It sets the stage for how to approach it. So once you've got that mindset, what's the first practical step Vincent recommends? Where do you actually begin?
Well, he starts with understanding the writing process itself. And the very first thing, choose a topic you genuinely enjoy, like really love.
Okay, that sounds simple, but...
But he emphasizes it's key to avoiding unnecessary suffering. If your heart's not in it, that struggle shows up in the writing. And believe me, the reader feels it.
Passion first, then.
Yeah.
Got it. And within that process, he highlights two main concepts.
Yes. First is total focus. He actually uses his own book, The Writer's Workshop, as an example. It has a clear goal. Guide beginners, your whole piece needs that same kind of consistent focus on its purpose.
Right.
Second is prescribed length structure. Basically, know the shape you're aiming for from the start. Is it a short story? A novel? Having those boundaries early on stops you from just wandering aimlessly.
Okay, structure. But, the part that really jumped out at me, and Vincent really emphasizes it, is routine. Why is that so much more than just, like, putting time on a calendar?
Oh, it's way more. Because routine, as the book explains, goes much deeper into your writer's core. It's not just about habit. It actively fights procrastination. It builds discipline, yeah. But it also brings this essential stability to your creative life.
Stability.
Vincent calls it the wellspring from which your unique creative voice will attempt to illustrate whatever it is you feel, whatever it is you see. It's fascinating. He calls it the breathing space between vision and book.
Breathing space between vision and book. I love that.
Yeah. That consistency, just showing up, it creates the space for inspiration. You don't wait for the muse. You build her a place to hang out. It's almost backward from how people think about creativity, isn't it? The discipline actually invites the ideas.
Totally flips the script for writers waiting for that lightning bolt. And the advice is pretty direct. Practice daily, 6 or 7 days a week.
Right. He argues that the writers who produce regularly are least likely to suffer from writer's block. It's about having that set time, that set place. It encourages clarity, helps new ideas surface.
Okay, so mindset, process, routine. That's a solid foundation. Now let's talk gear, the actual tools. Vincent talks about blending the art, the author's personality with the craft, managing the tools.
Exactly. And it starts super basic. Good paper, a reliable computer or a tablet, whatever you use, a dedicated workspace if you can manage it.
A dedicated space is huge.
Isn't it? Plus, books for inspiration, and maybe the trickiest one. Lots and lots of time, pure, undisturbed, and abundant time. That's the gold standard, often the hardest to find.
Tell me about it. Then he gets into software, Word, Google Docs, things like that, calls him a comprehensive writing partner.
Yeah, always on demand.
The key thing, he says, is to experiment. Find what works for you. And understand the difference between, free versions and maybe paid software with more advanced editing tools, plotting checklists, character name generators, that kind of stuff.
But here's a really interesting, almost old-school twist he throws in. He suggests aspiring writers use a pencil, not a pen, and specifically not medium soft.
A pencil?
Yeah.
Really? Why?
His reasoning is pretty cool. A pencil allows you to easily erase additions and changes while keeping your draft neat and clear. There's a sense of progress, seeing the changes, that you just don't get when you hit backspace on a computer. The thought vanishes without a trace.
That's fascinating. It reminds me of art class. Starting with charcoal, it gives you permission to experiment, to make mistakes. It's psychological almost.
Exactly. It's a tool for thinking.
And it perfectly highlights his main point about tools. They have to facilitate creative flow. He warns that a clumsy pencil or confusing software prohibits these vital images of thought. Your tools need to help, not hinder. They should feel like an extension of your thinking.
Well said.
Okay, moving from tools to the absolute core of storytelling, characters. Vincent really drives home that an author must understand thoroughly the characters in a book because, as he says, everyone has his own story to tell. You need to get their graces, their quirks, their flaws, what makes them real.
This is so crucial. You need those fully drawn, three-dimensional characters for a book to really come alive, to have heart and universal appeal. Readers connect with people. They need characters they can love, empathize with, and root for.
Absolutely. A great plot with flat characters just doesn't land.
It falls totally flat. You need that human element. It's one thing to say characters need depth, but how do you actually build it?
Yeah. Does Vincent offer any maybe surprising ways to get beyond just lifting traits? How do you find that spark?
He does. He talks about balancing exterior sketches and interior monologues, but with interior priority. It's what's going on inside them, those well-kept secrets that get revealed, that builds the real tension and connection. It's like peeling an onion, right? The deeper layers are what matter.
Interior priority.
Yeah.
I like that. And how do you get to those layers?
He suggests things like doing elaborate interviews with your characters, really grilling them, like an actor preparing for a role. He even mentions cutting pictures from magazines or just, people watching. Observe real humans and think for a minute about what makes your character tick. Become a bit of a detective for your own creations.
Like method writing? That makes sense.
Yeah. And it applies specifically to protagonists and antagonists, too. For your main character, your protagonist, make sure they change. They go through some kind of transformation, learn something. They don't have to be universally liked, but the reader should respect them by the end. And, crucially, give them a real personal stake in the plot. It has to matter to them.
Right. The stakes need to be personal, and the antagonist, often overlooked, but so important.
Definitely. Vincent calls a good antagonist a positive asset to your story. They're not just a villain. They provide resistance. They can be a catalyst for the hero's change, maybe even reflect the protagonist's own dark side. Keep them sharp and recognizable, he says. And let them change, too, just like the hero. A good antagonist tells you a lot about your protagonist.
This is just packed with useful stuff. It really does feel like a workshop. If you're listening and feeling inspired to grab all these tools and tips yourself, you can find Bill Vincent's The Writer's Workshop. Tools and tips for aspiring authors on Amazon right now. We've put the link right there in our show notes for you.
It's definitely worth having on the shelf.
Okay, let's keep going. We have characters. Now, how do we make them do things? Let's talk plot. Vincent notes that stories can start anywhere. Failed prophecies, boys on lifeboats with tigers, you name it. But what makes them compelling are those epiphanies and other major turning points.
Right, the moments of change. And this leads into thinking about the shape of the story. The source mentions common structures, like the old woman in a hole idea. It's basically a 3-part quest. Act 1 is long, setting it up. Act 2 is short, the hole or low point. Act 3 is the climb back out, usually to happiness. Or there's the pyramid form, maybe more familiar as the 3-act structure. Fall, then a rise, and then the fall again, but the final rise is to a greater height. Things get progressively more intense.
And for structure nerds like me, he breaks down Freytag's pyramid really clearly. You got the exposition, background, characters setting the scene. Like, we meet Detective Harding at a rain-soaked crime scene.
Oh.
Then rising action, Things intensify, maybe clues emerge, foreshadowing happens. Harding finds a strange coded message. Then the climax. The peak dramatic moment. He confronts the suspect in a tense standoff. After that, falling action, things start to resolve. The accomplice confesses, the motive is clear. And finally, the denouement, the wrap-up. Harding looks out at the city, case closed, but maybe thinking about the next one. It works so well for mysteries, that structure.
That's a perfect illustration. But importantly, the book also tackles the whole plotting versus pantsing debate, outlining everything versus making it up as you go.
Ah, yes, the eternal battle.
And Vincent basically says, hey, there's no wrong approach. It's all down to personal preference. It's about finding what works for you, what fits your process and keeps you writing. No judgment.
Which is great to hear. And he offers that middle ground, doesn't he? The Doolin concept.
Yeah. Draft plus outline.
Yeah.
That's clever. It lets you have some structure, a roadmap, so you're not totally lost. But it also leaves room for discovery, for pantsing within that structure. It keeps the writing process engaging, less like just filling in blanks.
That seems really practical.
It is. And he stresses, look, if one approach isn't working for you on a particular project, be flexible. Try the other way. Even if you always plot, try pantsing if you're stuck, or vice versa. Especially helpful for busting through writer's block. Adaptability is key.
From the big picture plot to the micro level. Dialogue and voice. This is where skill really shows. Vincent talks about needing a variety of voices, distinct speech patterns.
Yeah, getting technical.
He advises cutting out pleonasms, those redundant phrases like added bonus when bonus is enough. Also, trimming unnecessary clauses, dialing back adverbs, using strong verbs, and steering clear of cliches and too much slang.
And the key thing he says about dialogue, the most important trait, is that it mirrors or adds to the action. It shouldn't just be characters talking at each other.
It needs purpose.
Exactly. Good dialogue does two things. Makes characters believable, because they sound like themselves consistently, and it forces the writer to think and plan through the characters. They reveal who they are by how they speak and what they say. It's action in word form.
And that distinctiveness comes from characterization.
Yeah.
Age, background, personality.
For sure. He gives examples like a character from the Southwest saying, I'm going to visit with the hombre, versus maybe very formal speech from someone else. But he also warns, don't overdo it.
Right. Can't become a caricature.
Exactly. If it's too forced or distracting, it pulls the reader right out. It's a balance.
And this all feeds into that bigger, maybe harder to pin down idea, developing a unique authorial voice.
Yeah, he calls it ethereal. Which feels right. It's not one single thing. It's in your plot choices, your character arcs, the details you focus on, the way you phrase things. It's the combination that makes a story uniquely our own. Your writer fingerprint, sort of.
Okay, so you've drafted, you've found the voice.
Yeah.
Now polishing, making the prose shine. Chapter 7 gets into this. How do you make the writing itself better?
Well, for descriptive writing, he suggests maybe in early stages using adverbs of sense, how things sound, smell, feel, and adjectives of color, just to get the scene down vividly in your draft.
Like placeholders almost.
Sort of, but then there's this other technique, a classic one, imitation of published authors.
Ooh, interesting. How does that work?
He actually recommends copying passages word for word from writers you admire. By typing it out yourself, you start to absorb their techniques, their sentence structures, their word choices. It's like learning by doing, almost unconsciously.
That's a great exercise, like learning guitar by playing covers. And for editing your own work.
He offers two really smart strategies. First, reverse outlining. After you have a draft, you go back and write a one-sentence summary for each paragraph. Then you look just at the summaries. Does the logic flow? Are there gaps? Is anything out of order? It gives you that bird's eye view.
Clever. Helps you see the structure.
Exactly. The other is the symbol method. You use different colored pens or symbols for different issues as you read through. Maybe red for awkward phrasing, blue for repetitive words, a star for something great you want to keep. Mark it all up first, then go back and make the changes systematically.
Breaks down that overwhelming feeling of, I have to fix everything.
Right. And one key piece of advice for polishing descriptions, while those early adjectives and adverbs help you brainstorm in the final prose, avoid overusing them. Instead, he says, rely on strong action verbs and specific, concrete nouns.
Show don't tell, basically.
Pretty much. Use Snow White's castle instead of just a tourist attraction. Precision. Impact. Make every word count.
Okay, manuscript polished. Next hurdle. The publishing world. Vincent breaks this down too, distinguishing between, the big publishers, smaller ones, and those niche independents focused on specific genres or readers.
Which leads right into that big fork in the road, traditional versus self-publishing.
The eternal question for modern authors.
With traditional, the publisher handles everything: editing, cover design, marketing, distribution. They take on the financial risk. With self-publishing, the author manages all that or hires people to help, so the author takes on the risk and the cost. Different models entirely.
But self-publishing has huge upsides, right? Vincent highlights having complete control, creative, timing, distribution rights. Your book can be out instantly.
Relatively instantly, yeah.
And it can even lead to future publishing contracts if it does well. Authors generally make more money per copy, and for many, it's just that crucial validation of their work. It's empowering.
It definitely can be. But if you are aiming for traditional, especially the larger houses, you need to understand query letters and manuscript submission.
The dreaded query letter.
Yep. Big publishers get tons of submissions, mostly through established literary agents. So Vincent advises researching agents using resources like Writer's Market, finding ones who rep your genre, and writing the absolute best possible query letter you can. And, maybe most importantly, be prepared for a number of rejections.
Steel yourself.
It's part of the process. It's a numbers game, often. Don't take it personally. Keep refining, keep submitting.
Good advice. So, whether traditional or self-published, you need readers. Which brings us to building an author platform. Vincent makes a great point. You don't just want followers, you want to convert them into readers.
Right. It's about connection, not just numbers. He lists the usual social networks, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, etc., but warns, don't try to be everywhere.
Yeah, that sounds exhausting.
It is. Choose what feels appropriate for some writers, and crucially, his advice is only do what is fun as a writer. If you hate making TikTok videos, don't force it. Because, he says, the social media algorithm will take your sense of joy in your soul. If it feels like a chore, it won't connect.
That's such good advice. Do what you enjoy.
Yeah. And for creating an author website, he gives practical steps. Get a domain name, mentions GoDaddy. Get hosting, like WordPress. Pick a theme.
The essential.
And make sure you have key content. Your bio, a good photo, contact info, social media links, a page for your published books, maybe a blog, upcoming appearances, and an email list. Sign up using something like MailChimp. That email list is your direct connection to your dedicated fan base. Super important for launches and sales.
That direct line is gold. And using social media itself for promotion.
Same principle applies. Only do what is fun. Ask questions. Share bits about your writing life. Talk about your interests outside of writing. Be a person. And he also says, remember, you don't owe anybody an explanation if you need to take a break from social media. Protect your energy. The goal is expanding your audience, not strangers. Build real connections.
Love that. Okay, final stretch. We circle back to the writer's inner game, staying inspired and dealing with the inevitable writer's block. Vincent circles back to routine here, saying a regular writing habit makes it easier to stay inspired.
It's that consistency again. It reframes inspiration. You don't just write when you're inspired. The routine means you sometimes work out problems through writing, even when you don't feel inspired. And solving those problems builds confidence. It proves you can do it, even on off days.
That makes so much sense. And he offers tips for actively finding inspiration too, right? Not just waiting for it.
Yeah, exercising your creative thinking, playing word games, looking closely at road signs, analyzing TV commercials. He says these are just a few ideas out of endless games and gimmicks to get your mind working differently. Engage with the world actively.
Be curious.
Exactly. And drawing from his own workshop, he advises responding to the world what you see, hear, feel, sense, experience. Keep that notebook or journal handy for random thoughts. And importantly, giving an idea a chance, no matter how weird it seems at first. Don't dismiss things too quickly.
You never know where it might lead.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about when you do get stuck? The dreaded block. Any effective strategies?
Yes. First, be prepared. Having that outline, those character profiles, a list of goals for the session, that preparation can prevent block from even starting.
Like having a map.
Right. And here's a great practical trick. Stop writing for the day in the middle of a paragraph, line of dialogue, or even a word.
Oh. So you know exactly where to pick up.
Precisely. It makes starting the next session so much easier because you're not facing a completely blank page or a finished thought. You just complete the sentence or word and you're rolling again. It's a fantastic psychological trick.
That's genius. I'm going to try that.
Do it. Ultimately, it all comes back to establishing daily goals, and Vincent puts it so starkly. Writing is not something that he or she should do every day. It is also something that he or she should do every day. That repetition emphasizes the commitment. Whether it's 15 minutes or 5 hours, 100 words or 1,000, that consistency builds momentum, confidence, and keeps you invested. It's the drip, drip, drip that gets the book written.
Wow, what a comprehensive journey we've taken through the Writer's Workshop. From mindset and craft, all the way to publishing and staying motivated, it really is an empowering guide.
It truly is. And Bill Vincent's concluding thoughts are just so powerful. He tells the reader basically, you have the gift of language and disciplined study of the writing craft. Commit to writing. Tune in to the divine and allow your true guide to speak. Honor your talent. It's such a strong affirmation.
It really is. A call to embrace your potential. And that direct challenge. Recognize resistance in its myriad forms and eliminate it. Right. Simple, but profound. Just do the work.
And he shares this incredibly motivating quote, something he tells his own clients and wants readers to put up where they can see it. I love that you're taking the steps to improve as a writer. No one else can write your book. Writing your book is something you've hunkered down to accomplish, and you're doing it.
Oh, I love that. No one else can write your book.
It's such a personal, powerful reminder that your story matters, and your commitment is what makes it real.
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Well, if this deep dive has fired up your writing ambitions, don't forget you can grab your own copy of Bill Vincent's The Writer's Workshop, Tools and Tips for Aspiring Authors. It's on Amazon, and the link is right there in our show notes.
Highly recommended.
So what does all this mean for you listening? It means, quite simply, you are a writer. Maybe now you feel you have a clearer map, a better sense of your own creative power. Take that thought, hold on to it, nurture it, and let it fuel your writing journey.
Well said.
Thank you for listening to the Deep Dive Podcast.